Good morning, everyone. We are all here today with with heavy hearts that are full because Mr. Bolia, Sanjeev Bhaiya, wasn't just someone we knew. He was someone we all deeply loved, admired, and looked up to. This is a moment to pause hi- and honor his life, a life that was filled with purpose, warmth, and an unshakable grace. His presence was always very reassuring. His actions were thoughtful, often spoken louder than words. But what truly set him apart was his vision. That was a rare ability that he possessed beyond, he could look beyond tomorrow and always had a vision to make affairs a beautiful. To begin the tribute, I now invite Anvita Gupta to take us through his extraordinary journey forward.
In every era, there are dreamers who refuse to accept the ordinary, who dare to step off the beaten track and create something entirely new. For Indian education, the dreamer was Sanjeev Bolia, a young man of just 24, lean, determined, and brimming with courage, stepped out of Calcutta University with a commerce degree and a heart full of dreams. While the world expected him to follow the safe and predictable path of accountancy, Sanjeev Bolia chose courage over comfort. It was 1994, the dawn of India's IT revolution, and he could sense a nation on the brink of change. He wanted to be a part of something bigger than himself. With fearless conviction, he organized Kolkata's first ever computer education fair. Though the event left him with financial losses, it gave him far greater. It gave him something far greater, clarity of purpose. He realized that what students in India lacked was not opportunity, but guidance. From that day, Sanjeev found his mission to create platforms that would illuminate the pathways of education for countless young minds. In his own words, I learned the nuts and bolts of education, of the education industry. In June 1995, with nothing but 60,000 rupees borrowed from friends and a dream that knew no limits, he staged the first higher education exhibition come career counseling fair in Kolkata. That event marked the birth of Affairs Exhibitions and Media Private Limited. From that point onwards, Sanjeev Bolia and Affairs became inseparable. Two names that symbolized hope, opportunity, and empowerment. For him, exhibitions were never merely business ventures, they were platforms of possibility where anxious parents could find clarity, where students could discover pathways to their future, and where institutions could find the audiences they deserved. His philosophy was simple but powerful: connect the right people in the right way at the right time. And in living this philosophy, he forever changed the landscape of education exhibitions in India. In 2004, Sanjeev's vision took another bold leap. He imagined a platform that would bring together the finest K 12 schools from across India and abroad, connecting them directly with parents seeking the best education for their children. Out of this dream was born Premier Schools exhibition, launched in New Delhi and Mumbai. What started as a spark soon became the flagship event of the Indian school sector, shaping a national and later global market for quality schooling. Parents, often confused and overwhelmed by choices, now had direct access to schools and could shape their children's futures. Schools, in turn, found the perfect stage to showcase their ethos, strengths, and legacy. 22 years later, the Premier Schools exhibition stands as the largest platform of its kind, reaching 16 Indian cities, 8 international destinations, over 500 of India's finest schools, from heritage boarding schools to modern international institutions, trust affairs to expand their reach and enrich their diversity. Sanjeev didn't just build an exhibition, he built a bridge of trust between families and schools, a bridge that has shaped countless futures and continues to grow stronger with every passing year. But Sanjeev was never one to stop at national boundaries. In 2007, he once again looked beyond the horizon. He believed Indian education was ready to be showcased to the world. Its institutions were offering global quality education at a fraction of cost. And the time had come for this story to be told internationally. With courage and conviction, he launched the Great India Education Fair, later known as the Study in India Expo. This was no ordinary exhibition. It became the global stage for Indian education, where universities, colleges, and schools could open their doors to students across the world. From Seoul to Nairobi, from Singapore to Dubai, from Muscat to Bangkok, Sanjeev carried India's message of affordable excellence. Under his leadership, Affairs proudly showcased Indian education in South Korea, East and West Africa, Thailand, Malaysia, Singapore, Bhutan, Nepal, Bangladesh, Mongolia, UAE, Saudi Arabia, Oman, and Qatar. What made this mission powerful was not just the scale of cities covered, but the confidence it gave India's institutions. Prestigious government bodies and top universities partnered with him, recognizing his vision of placing India firmly on the world map of education. While his achievements were extraordinary, what made Sanjeev truly unforgettable is his human touch. He was not just an entrepreneur, but a visionary who blended business with deep personal connection. To clients, he was a friend. To colleagues, a mentor. To his team, family, his warmth, humility, and meticulous attention to detail made everyone feel valued. His ability to listen, understand, and encourage created bonds that extended far beyond professional ties. For him, Affairs was never just a company, it was his extended family. A family that included not only Vivek and Ritesh, his brothers in arms and business partners, his wife Vaishali, but also hundreds of schools, universities, policymakers, and education leaders across the globe. He often said with affection, I am the go down, and Vivek and Ritesh are my showroom. His trust, loyalty, and guidance nurtured everyone around him to grow, lead, and succeed. Sanjeev was always on the move, from one city to the next, from one idea to another, carrying with him relentless energy that inspired all who crossed his path. He had a rare ability to walk into a room and instantly infuse it with optimism, drive, and the belief that no challenge is insurmountable. A hard taskmaster, yet deeply generous. He was known for finding solutions when nothing seemed possible. Crisis only sharpened his creativity. Obstacles became opportunities. Ordinary became extraordinary. He challenged everyone around him to think bigger, chase harder, and break barriers they thought were impossible. In just 31 years, Sanjeev transformed Affairs into a global movement. Under his stewardship, the organization broke barriers, created new markets, and gave Indian education a global voice. His pioneering work earned him many accolades. The International Star Award at the Exhibition Showcase Excellence Awards for 5 consecutive years from 2019 to 2024. The Entrepreneur Award 2017 of the India Thai Business Association, the Education World Extraordinary Achievement in Educational Leadership Award 2019. But beyond awards, his truest recognition lies in the countless lives he touched. The student, the students who discovered new horizons, the families who found the right school, the institutions that grew on his platform. He didn't just build exhibitions, he built movements that reshaped the future of education. Today, as we mourn his untimely departure, we also celebrate his extraordinary life. He leaves us not just with memories, but with a roadmap, a vision that reminds us that his story is far from over. In his own words, we have barely scratched the surface. Beyond his professional brilliance, Sanjeev will be remembered for his zest of life, his generosity, the joy he brought to every interaction. He celebrated others' wins as if they were his own. He stood by people during the toughest times and spread warmth wherever he went. He was the epitome of resilience, a man who could find light in the darkest tunnels and craft solutions in the most impossible situations. His laughter, his guidance, and his dreams will echo in the hearts of all who knew him. Yes, we grieve his loss, but above all, we commit to carrying forward his mission. His ideas will continue to grow. This platform will continue to connect. His dreams will continue to inspire. The story of Sanjeev Bolia has no end because every life he touched, every dream he seeded, and every barrier he broke will keep his legacy alive. His journey reminds us that though he is gone, his light continues to guide us. While this loss has left an irreplaceable void in the Affairs family, his spirit whispers, the show must go on, and the show will go on. May I request Mr. Bhavin to come on stage?
Today we gather with heavy heart to pay tribute to late Shri Sanjeev Bolia, a visionary educationist who not only built affairs, exhibition, and education, but most importantly, he built it with passion and furthermore with purpose. And that's very important when he ever thought about to deal with education. While affairs and education world stories started together, he was in fact our guiding light because being from a journalist and a media background, never ever innovation that would have occurred if at all Sanjeev Bhaiya never would have told us how to expand. One of the most important aspect that we learn from his life is business, or the so-called building up anything was not just mere because of business value. For him, it was most important how to build people, how to build relationship. It is not about the giving nature that he already possesses, but it is also about caring and also about anything and everything that had to do with mankind, anything to do with unprecedented love that you get whenever you speak to him. It's very important to note that this kind of a soul is like made in a million. In fact, we learn from Bhagavad Gita, and Lord Krishna reminds us that the soul is never born, the soul never dies, the soul is eternal and indestructible. This is what, while we feel that he is not here और वो महावीर भगवान की शरणागति में हैं, मगर आज की तारीख में हमें पता है कि that he is there over here because of his vision, because of his all his karma that has brought not only new direction to education, but also touched millions of lives that he would have helped with innumerous education institute that he has developed. It is also very important to note, and this is what I had personal experienced at very early days of education world while we were ourselves participating and meeting lots of parents and educators. I remember in one of the overseas exhibition where first time my family had also visited, and I was very much into like work and how to really develop relationship. It was he first who told me that while you are with family, and my son who was like practicing his athlete in the corridors while he was running around, it was he who told me that anything comes front in front of you, but family is first, and you should enjoy the moment with family while work will take the second seat. that kind of soul he was, that he would give always preference to relationship first. He would maintain that relationship. Never ever he would have thought about any kind of monetary dealings. If, for example, the culture of kindness and forgiveness, if it is embedded in his values by way of religion or by way of practice, the real purpose that he would have proved to all of us is to touch life and to give innumerous amount of love, and which translates into the right future of the kids. I think so. While we are all over here paying tribute, it becomes our duty that we carry forward his legacy, his work, his vision, and spread to the world the most important thing that he taught us: be kind, and let our kid take that particular heritage and inheritance of giving kindness to the world.
Thank you, Bhavin. Thank you, Anvita. The words were touched all of us. Can I request Vasudha ma'am to be on the stage?
Pranam. Yes, it's with a heavy heart and profound sadness we all have gathered here to pay tribute to someone who was not only a stalwart in the education sector, but also a cherished mentor, a compassionate leader, and truly a beautiful soul, Mr. Sanjeev Bolia. I called him fondly Sanjeev ji. He left us very soon, and honestly, personally, I am still struggling to come to terms with it. Words feel inadequate in capturing the magnitude of this loss, a loss not just for those of us who knew him closely, but for the entire education fraternity across India and abroad. My association with Affairs began almost 2 decades ago, as Vanmita mentioned, somewhere around 2005. But we actively started working together when I joined Vidya Sanskar 2010. What started as a professional collaboration soon grew into something much deeper. Over the years, I had privilege of witnessing Mr. Bolia, lovingly called the chief, in action, a true leader in every sense of the word. He led from the front with unmatched clarity, a relentless determination, and a purpose that inspired everyone around him. To me and so many others, he was just not a founder or a leader, he was family. Along with Vivekji and the entire affairs team, Sanjeevji built more than a company. He built a community, a movement that empowered educators, schools, students alike. And through the journey, Affairs family became my extended family. He was a go getter, fierce in his ambition, yet full of heart. A hard taskmaster, yes, everybody is talking about it, but also a nurturing mentor, someone who believed in excellence, but never at the cost of the empathy. His warmth, laughter, his ability to motivate and guide without ever overshadowing, those were the qualities that made him truly one of a kind. His passing is a monumental loss, not just for his loved ones, but for an entire generation of educationists who looked up to him as a torchbearer. Sanjeevji was a kind of leader who didn't just leave a mark, he left a legacy. A legacy built on relationships, resilience, and a relentless passion for transforming education. To Vaishali ji, Vivek ji, Urvi, Ritesh, and the entire Affairs family, my heart is with you. We started off as collaborators, but somewhere along the way, you became my people. I have seen your bond with Sanjeev ji, the trust, shared dreams, laughter, and even the struggles. I know this is an unbearable void, and yet I also know that there's one thing he would want from all of us. It would be to continue his journey with the same zeal, same fire, same integrity, and the same love he carried in his heart. Sanjeev ji, for you, thank you. Thank you for everything, the opportunities, the conversation, for the great sense of humor, and most importantly, the humanity you brought into everything you did. I was fortunate to have known you for nearly 20 years, and I will cherish that privilege forever. Rest in peace, dear Sanjeev ji. You may have left this physical world, but your spirit, your vision, and your legacy will live on in affairs, in every event, in every idea, and every life you touched. You will be deeply missed, but never forgotten. May you continue to guide us and everyone from above.
Thank you, Asudha ma'am. And we promise his legacy will never end. Can I request Acharya Chandrasekhar ji to please?
Some people walk into a room and you notice them. And there are a few, very few, who walk in and the room transforms. That's Sanjeev. I was lucky to spend long nights with him, arguing, debating, brainstorming until ideas turned into possibilities. Sometimes we agreed, often we didn't. But what I will miss the most is the fire he brought to every conversation. He never let you settle for good enough. He pulled the best out of you. Sanjeev was more than a stalwart of what he did. He was a dreamer, his feet firmly on the ground. He truly believed Indian education could reach the world, and he spent his life building bridges to make it happen. But to me, beyond the achievements, he was a presence, a friend whose laughter, conviction, sheer energy would change the way you felt about the world in that moment. Today, we just don't mount him, we carry him with us in the way we argue passionately, in the way we dream boldly, in the way we refuse to give up. I will miss him deeply, and I know so will many of you. So long, Chief.
Thank you, Vishesh Chandrasekhar ji. Can I request Ritesh Bhatia to share a few words?
Sanjeev Bolia. I met this man only for a couple of hours. I knew him. And in those 2 hours, he became Sanjeev Bhai for me. It's close to a couple of weeks, and I've not allowed a tear to be shed because that's not what he wanted. He would have asked for. And I'll try my best not to do it today. He opened his heart to people, he opened his space to people. I was one of those fortunate, blessed few to him, to whom he always opened his arms. His hugs, I just can never forget. I could only reach his heart, and maybe that's why I say I was blessed that I could hear his heartbeat straight. Last few months, the way he talked, the kind of talks he had, some I've shared, and some I know will live with me forever. He's there behind, still saying, Bhai, I have your back, and I know that. We all know him for the leader he was, but I've seen him with the same kind of curiosity to learn from anyone about anything. Any country he went to, he would know the population it has, the economy that drives it, the most beautiful places to eat, to take people to. We all know him as a father figure to us. I've seen the childlike Sanjeev Bhai, the most shararti smile that he will have. See here also. And today also, somewhere here, I know he would have that same smile looking at all of us. कि देखो सबको बिठा दिया ना यहाँ पे और सब मेरे लिए आए हो. I'm not mourning him and I'm not going to mourn him. I just cannot. He did not only live his life complete, I think he lived it much more than complete. And that life will carry on. That life will be forever. It just cannot go away. His legacy, the work that he started, I know the team here, Vivek Bhai, the complete affairs team, the family, everybody will carry forward what he taught, what he showed, and what he carried in him. But even he himself will not go anywhere. He is here. And it was just that he wanted a celebration of his life here, and we are doing that. That is all. I know each one of you, some in your memories, some in your talks, some in your hearts, some in your minds, will carry him forward. And that's the best that we can give him. Nothing more. He never wanted anything. I can't even say rest in peace, Sanjeev Bhai, because I know he would rejoice in peace. He will make heavens a better place. It is just nothing more is possible, nothing different is possible. Love you, Bhai. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Absolutely. Bhaiya used to always come a little late सारी एग्जीबिशंस में और आके वो हमेशा ही बोलते थे चलिए अब चाय पीते हैं. So I would request everyone to please, Bhabhi would like to say something.
Ladies and gentlemen, I think certainly this is a moment of paying tribute to Sanjeev Bhaiya. Uh, Certainly, it's a moment of great grief for all of us. It's not that I was like his younger brother, तो मेरा दुख ज़्यादा है और आपका कम. I think the most beautiful thing about him is he strike a one-on-one association with each one of you here. The kind of phone calls, response on social media, which we received, that completely, you can relate to the impact which he left in so many lives. I don't know kya jadoo tha unme. He was a tough man, hard taskmaster. He used to create, you know, he used to pull people to get the best out of them. Right from office boy to the CEO of the company, his younger brother, me, Ritesh, everyone. The most beautiful thing beside work, he strike us such a beautiful personal one-on-one relationship with each one of us in Affairs family and beyond, even family who are associated with Affairs family. I think ये सीखने के लिए तो हमारे को एक और जन्म लेना पड़ेगा, फिर भी we will not be able to build this kind of heart. But yes, we can certainly will draw a lot of inspiration from his life. I think most of you have known him very closely, and he always led a king size life. हमेशा एक ही बात बोलते थे, strike a good balance between work and life. इतना काम मत करो, don't work hard, work smart. इतना कुछ पीछे छोड़ के गए. And I think even if we draw 10% inspiration from his life, we'll be able to lead affairs and we can take affairs to the next level. So, ladies and gentlemen, friends, family, I think at this moment, I don't think ज़्यादा कुछ मुझे बोलने का है, but with folded hand, I extend whoever wants to give tribute to Sanjeev Bhaiya, may please come forward. Thank you.
Can we all have a moment of silence for Sanjeev Bhaiya? Thank you, everyone, for being here, for the legend, Mr. Sanjeev Bolia. Thank you. Namaskar. Can I request everyone to please have a cup of chai? Bhaiya would have really loved. And I want everyone to please have some refreshments before they go. Thank you.